I am so excited to share with you guys Dr. Plant tonight. We've had him on our calls before, and you guys all know him and love him. And I'm not going to give a huge introduction, except for those of you that are brand new, you're in for such a treat. And I know we have some brand new people on the call tonight. Dr. Plant has been with us since May of 2019, and he is highly accomplished and respected professional in the preventative health and nutritional sciences industry. He's our chief science officer, and he oversees the research and development, product design and development, product commercialization, and quality assurance of all of our products. He's also on our advisory board. And I just wanted to tell you a couple personal things about him, that some of his things he enjoys outside of his family with 4 children is mountain biking, playing racquetball, lifting weights, and reading books as well, political sci-fi books. So we are just so honored to have you with us tonight, Dr. Plant. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. So this is always the treat. This is my favorite part of my job, is actually doing these intimate team calls with individuals, and seeing everyone's faces reminded me of why I do what I do. So thanks so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And I have so many questions. I'm going to just try to get through as many as I can while we have you for 30 minutes tonight. And I did invite some of our friends that aren't even on our team tonight that just also want to learn from you as well. Because, you know, this is the thing. I've been with Isagenix 11 years, and I'm always learning. And every time I hear you speak, Dr. Plant, I'm learning more. So let's start with, we just announced our 3 new products at Celebration. Anything you want to share? I don't think we need to do a big, huge, description of the products. Most everyone's tried them already, but anything you can share about the new products? Are you guys seeing great sales in them? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, so actually we are seeing tremendous sales. The e-shots I think are probably sold out or selling out in the next 12 hours. So buy those up quick if you haven't already. I don't know exactly when those limited editions are, and I think the BIA is not too far behind it. But the Energy Bites are absolutely going gangbusters. So we've been exceptionally pleased with the sales of those products. Obviously, I'd like to think it's a great formulation, but who am I fooling? The taste is what people keep raving about. But that formula is really unique in that individuals who take it do show increased ability to be better at their cognitive performance. They're better at tasks generated. And so when we talk about it being an energy bite, it is actually more kind of like brain food in that product, utilizing some great ingredients in there, unique extracts from the coffee fruit, allow individuals to more effectively be able to process, to allow for greater neural connections, that neuroplasticity, those neurons to form. Something that unfortunately gets harder and harder as we age, but we've seen tremendous success with that product as people are buying it up, and great testimonials coming from that: increased energy throughout the day, better articulation, memory, and focus.
And I think what I love so much and what you brought to the table for us is just staying on the forefront of what people are looking for. And that's what gets me excited. So I'd love to talk about, what sets us apart, Dr. Plant, because I think that's a huge one for us. We're ahead of the curve. Like, since we came out with collagen, everybody's copying us with collagen, and that just tends to happen. I would love to hear your insight on that.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I like it when people ask me this, because it gives me the opportunity to not only say what I believe sets rate Isagenix, but it is the real reason that I came to Isagenix as well. And when we look at what Isagenix is, and people kind of talk about the products, that is a key differentiator for us. And the thing that makes our products different than the other companies that are out there, or the other products that are out there, because if you guys are anything like me, your social media feed is just being bombarded with the latest health trends. You got some guru that's telling you to avoid this and have this. You have all of these pop-up shops of supplements coming up and bombarding us with information and fear-mongering and all of this. And so the world has become exceptionally noisy in the last little bit. And part of this that we kind of look at Isagenix is really what sets us apart is 3 things. And other companies may focus on one of these 3 areas, or maybe even 2. But Isagenix is unique that it centers on all three of these things. And these three things are simple, proven, and natural. It's simple, not meaning that the formulation is simple, but the solution is simple. The products are not designed to complicate your lives to give you those health solutions you're looking for. And so the products are designed to very much simplify your life. And proven. The products aren't done with anecdotal evidence. It's not done on believe me's. It's done through peer-reviewed scientific publications against placebo-controlled studies done by independent universities that then publish those studies. And so you can feel confident that these products work. And the third is natural, that these products that we formulate and work with are designed to use the most natural solutions possible. Now, other companies may use one or two of those. In fact, I always say you'll find industries that live on two of those three areas, but Isagenix lives in all three. So for example, the pharmaceutical industry does a great job of doing things that are very simple. You pop a pill, it's proven, but they forego the natural. And there are potentially long-term ramifications of that. You have the supplement industry that may be simple and it may be natural, but largely that supplement space is unproven. And then you have companies or industries that are proven and natural, like the whole nutraceutical space or naturopathic space, but it's not necessarily simple. They're requiring you to boil your bone broth overnight and these types of things, which makes it difficult and you're unable to make it a habit. At Isagenix, we kind of distill all three of those. And that's really what makes us unique, is when we talk about no compromise quality, not only are we making sure that we don't compromise in the ingredients that we choose, that they're the highest quality, sourced from New Zealand and everything else, but also making sure that the quality is there, that the products work for you, that they simplify your life, that they're proven to work, and that we're using the most natural solutions possible to give you that what you're looking for.
Yeah, so impressive. And then the whole, you guys, it's a feather in your cap that you can actually, people that are maybe in the medical field or highly educated that have really hard questions, we can send them to isagenixhealth.net. All the scientific studies are there to back everything up that Dr. Plant just shared with you. So that is so awesome. So I know that you have referenced on a few different calls now that you've got a couple other things in the pipeline. You're calling it tier 1 products like our collagen. And I know you probably can't tell us exactly what's coming, but can you tell us a little bit about maybe the direction? I know so many of us came here for the products. I came for the business, but so many people come for the products and they're so excited about all the revolutionary things that we're doing. Is there anything you can share with us to get people excited about what's to come, Dr. Plant?
Yeah, so this is something that I really take pride in, and a lot of people are like, can we just launch a collagen every month? Well, unfortunately, that's not how this works in this industry. And so we have different tiers of products. I call them tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Think of a tier 3 as like a limited edition flavor extension. There's really little education that goes into it. It's flavor, it's exciting, but it's not necessarily something that's generationally going to move a business in the long term. Then you have tier 2 products. I call these accessorizing products. These would be kind of like snacks, things that support like our weight management system. And so these types of things that are there to kind of support your tier 1 products. A lot of people have them on auto ships, but they're there to support a greater product. And that greater product is what we have as the tier 1. And so you can't have, if you have all tier 1s and you don't have accessory products to build up and support them, it's very challenging. And then if you don't offer tier 3 products, you have what would be considered what's called flavor fatigue or product fatigue, and people maybe get burned out. And so it's important you keep that product wheel turning. It's a way in which you keep your consumer base motivated and inspired, and you understand that those tier 1 products come with significant amount of education, marketing capital. You get everyone's ears and mouths primed for it so that when it's launched, it separates from the noise that is out there. And so you can't be shooting a tier 1 product every month, otherwise you just become part of the noise. And so we are looking at launching, I would say, our next tier 1 product probably at the first part of 2024. And this is something that is really revolutionary. It's going to require a little bit of education. It's going to require some excitement, but it is one of those, you've got to risk it for the biscuit type approaches. And we saw this with collagen. A lot of people that are sitting here, nobody regrets launching collagen. In fact, we did $100 million of collagen in the first 12 months. But you could sit here and say, but we had a skincare line. We ran the risk of cannibalizing our own skincare line. And nobody in hindsight would regret that decision because we were able to innovate and revolutionize. And that same type of philosophy is there. And so when we look at Q1, we are looking at tremendous excitement around this and taking something that is actually much bigger than the weight management space, something that is the biggest in the supplement space by far, and completely revolutionizing it. And this is something that we believe that there's growing trends moving to. We're seeing more and more evidence of this, and Isagenix is leading the way. Now, will we have exclusivity on it? Well, we do for a short term. Just as like with collagen, man, when you are out leading, you know, it's great. But nobody, when everyone is leading here at Isagenix, this is what I love, is we're very spoiled. We come out and we're leading, we're excited, and then we're saying, well, such and such company launched something similar to ours. Well, that is the byproduct of leading. I would much rather say so and such copied us 18 months later than us doing the opposite and copying somebody else 18 months after they launched a product. And so we are excited for the ripples that we will be launching in Q1 that are definitely going to cause a quake in the whole industry, not just in the supplement space and the network marketing space, but across even the food industry. And so we're really, really excited for what this is going to be. And so we've been working with labs for years, developing methodologies and everything else to be able to test this, to work with it. And so this is kind of my pride and joy. This is my magnum opus, you will, launching in Q1. So super excited for it. Sitting right here behind the camera too. So keeping it close, keeping it close.
Gosh, I wish we could get that out of you. And I loved, you know, being around in the industry for over 30 years. I loved how we pre-launched collagen. We had the field so excited before that product launched. And I hope we can do the same thing with what you're talking about, because I think that was key to the success of collagen.
Yeah, absolutely. And so working very close with the field, we'll be getting all that lined up. We're really, really excited for this product.
That's awesome. All right. I would like to know what your daily regimen is, because I know you joke about 5 BIAs a day, and maybe that's not a joke. I don't know, but I'd like to hear what you take in a day, because I think, you know, so many of us, you know, we started maybe on a weight loss journey, we work out. Moringa was new for many of us. We're in love with that, and adds a new product. And, you know, I know we can't take absolutely every product, although my husband does, Dr. Plant, but we'd really like to know what do you do every day?
Yeah, so I will kind of say the foundation of what I do is I do believe everything kind of starts with making sure that your macros are in line, right? So when we talk about macro and macros are going to be fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. And then follow that, make sure your micros are aligned. And your micros are going to be your vitamins and minerals. And so to start off, I make sure that my macros are aligned, and it's super easy to do that with the Isagenix. So I have a whole blend shake for breakfast and a whole blend shake for lunch. It's simple as that. And then I have a typical dinner for me would be chicken, broccoli, salads. I keep it very, very simple. Try to keep my dinner as whole, natural food as possible. And that's more or less doing that. My macros are perfect. I've aligned, I've got the protein that I need throughout the day. I've got the right amount of carbs. I've got the right type of carbs. I've got good fats, and everything seems to work well. And then by doing that also, my micros are largely taken care of as well. I've got all my vitamins and I've got my minerals, those types of things. So I've checked the 2 biggest boxes. Now, then the next thing that I usually work down is I work on making sure I get all of what I call my phytocompounds. These are the things that are critical, that aren't necessarily a vitamin or a mineral, but are very important for your body, your anti-inflammatories, the things that help your joints feel better, help your hair look better. And so this is where I look at it with respect to, I take a collagen each and every day. I have adaptogen elixir each and every day. And then I take the nootropic elixir as needed, which is pretty much every day, right? So in the morning, I'll have my collagen and my adaptogen. And then as the nootropic, usually right around 3 o'clock, I'll have a nootropic. And it kind of gets me through the second half of the day when all of a sudden the words seem much more cumbersome to remember. The nootropic works really well. Now, the other thing that I do is I make sure, right, as I have a shake for breakfast and lunch, you'll kind of get hankerings once in a while, especially because I'll wake up and I'll go running or biking. You might find yourself a little bit hungry. So I always keep a few healthy snacks with me, the snack bites or the energy bars with me so I can pop one of those if needed, or a good old trusty apple, right? And so that is more or less my regimen each and every day. And then at night, I'll have usually a super mix kind of after dinner to close out my evening.
Okay. And another question on the same note, physically, we've noticed a transformation in you. Now, I'm not talking about your facial hair. You've slimmed down. Did you do something different? Was it picking up?
Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. So I would say the thing that I've done different is so I used to be really, back in the day, used to be really into weightlifting, hadn't done it for years, and just started to get right back onto weightlifting. And yeah, the new product on the desk definitely has helped. And then, so I've gotten back into weightlifting at nights. And so I do mountain biking in the mornings and I weightlift at nights. And so that's probably been the crux of it, is just gotten back into the gym. You know, you get out of the routine, you start maybe just doing a little bit more cardio, not enough weightlifting, and I've been back lifting weights. So trying to remember what it was like when in my late 20s.
That's great. Well, we were hoping the new product on your desk might address hormonal health. So if it's, you know, who knows?
No, we are looking for that potentially at Celebration next year, though.
Ooh, that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay, so I've had a lot of people ask me, you talked about joint support. So the products you recommend for joint support would be the adaptogen elixir.
And the super mix will be really good. And just so that you guys are aware, I'm all right mentioning this, we are looking at launching an official joint support formula in Q1 of next year as well. So that's all kind of done. We'll be looking at that in Q1. But in the meantime, there's great anti-inflammatory properties in the super mix.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so I know you get bombarded all the time with products that have come and gone, and I get the questions too. People are always asking me, when's Hokey Pokey coming back? When? And I know, I've heard you talk about this. How do you guys decide that? Like what, for example, shakes come back? How do you make that call? Is it totally based on sales, which I would assume?
Yeah, so a lot of it is which ones sell. We look at customer feedback, like the blueberry plant-based shake went gangbusters, right? And so we know that's a popular one. And so we keep those, but obviously part of when we do these limited edition shakes, what we have learned though, is sometimes we brought them into our everyday products and then they don't do nearly as well. And so a lot of people was like, oh my goodness, if we just had cookies and cream all year long, then it'd be great. And we've seen that with birthday cake. We saw that with peach mango, and then they don't seem, when they're readily available, people kind of just gravitate back to the traditional shakes unusually. So what we try to do is we'll do about 4 limited editions. We have some coming up here soon, a year. And I would say 2 of them are tried and true, like that you guys know and love, the mochas, the cookies and creams, these types of things. But then we try to throw a couple more in there just to see if there are other very popular flavors like that blueberry plant-based that we had no idea about that were so well received. That gives us the opportunity to launch those again. And so we're looking at about 4 a year that we kind of play in, both in the plant and in the whey-based. Our plant-based shakes are actually growing very well. And so we play in both those spaces, and we do about 4 a year, and we kind of gauge it largely based upon sales. But we have a huge focus group team downstairs that actually send out samples and get customer feedback based upon taste, texture, all of that type of stuff to kind of move it through.
Yeah, the plant-based product line has just, I mean, it's been outstanding. I'm plant-based and we love it. Okay, so I see in the chat, how many beers does he really drink? So let's talk about energy. How much is it safe in a day? Like how much? Because
Yeah,
so many of us
so
start off with
um,
XM, like if we do an XM
yes.
moringa in the morning.
So the XM Plus with the Moringa, that has about 150 milligrams of caffeine in it. Um, E-shots have about 80 milligrams of caffeine in it. Bia has about 120. And so they say you can have safely around 500 milligrams of caffeine a day. And so kind of play around with it. You know, that's quite a bit. I have well more than 500 milligrams a day, right? I love my coffee. I love my Bia. I love my E-shots. I love my nootropics. I love my energy bites. And so I'm on this constant caffeine kick throughout the day. And you know, we all have different caffeine tolerances, and it's just a matter of kind of seeing where you're comfortable with it. And so, you know, some people have a little bit of hot chocolate, and the 10 milligrams of caffeine that's in that, they're finding themselves wired. I myself, on the other hand, I seem to be immune to caffeine, so I have a lot throughout the day. So I play with it, but typically right around 500 milligrams is where they say you're fine up to.
Same for men and women?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
The only difference would be obviously if you're nursing or pregnant.
Awesome. All right. So I would love to, and as we get ready to start wrapping this up, I want to honor your time. I would love for you to share, you know, this is a business call. So these are all of our teams that are working Isagenix as a business. Many are doing now the teams to Costa Rica. You know, I feel like Isagenix and these products are such a gift to give to people. And there are some that are a little nervous to sell products, Dr. Plant, but I think, you know, the way that I look at this is Isagenix products have been such a gift to us, to our family, to our friends, to all of my clients. I would love for you just to speak a little bit on that, because I want everyone to feel so confident with what we have to offer and where we're headed, that there's no nerves around sharing these amazing products with other people.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I talked about. This is what really led me to Isagenix, because even though I kind of hide behind the corporate veil somewhat, it is my reputation. And I feel like it's the same with you guys, right? It is your reputation as you talk with these individuals. And that was the real thing that led me to Isagenix, is because understanding that these are simple, proven, natural solutions for people. And it isn't me saying, trust me. It's not you guys saying, trust me. It's literally the ability for us to rely back on these independent peer-reviewed studies that have shown that our products not only work, but work twice as well as other leading programs on the market. And this is where I believe we should actually take any of that timid nature we have, any of that fear that we have, and we need to push that away. And the real reason is when we look at this, we have to understand that there are people out there that are craving solutions. They are craving solutions. The wall down the hall of, you know, hundreds and hundreds, over 700 people that have lost over 100 pounds on the Isagenix system, and the hundreds of thousands of people that represents that have lost 10 to 30 pounds. And the life-changing characteristics that brings into people. These people for their whole lives have been looking for solutions. They've been looking for solutions to feel more confident, to have more energy throughout the day, to play with their kids, all of these things. And these products work. And so in these situations, it's not just because they've worked for you. It's not just because they've worked for your neighbor, but they've worked in the scientific studying of the most scrutinous nature. And because of that, we have the ability to help individuals drastically improve their life they're looking for. And this is what's so great about this is, in this, people could say, well, it's expensive. It is, but it's actually cheaper than the meals that it is in lieu of. And so when they look at the shake in the presence of breakfast and the lunch, you're in a position to where you're not only helping individuals financially, but you're also helping them with reaching their health and wellness goals. And that is a true, beautiful solution. Now, is it easy? It's not. I'm not going to lie and say, hey, if it was easy, we'd all be going, you know, McDonald's wouldn't win, right? McDonald's wins because it is the easiest, right? They have a drive-through, for crying out loud, and it's there in 2 minutes. But I can tell you right now that the Isagenix system is drastically easier than other things that are on the market if people are looking to make changes. In fact, when we look at individuals who follow the Isagenix system out over the course of a year, they maintain their results. And the reason in that study they attributed people maintaining the results is because the program was easy. It was easy for them to follow. And in today's confusing world, noisy world, it is exceptionally distracting. And that is the beauty behind what we have, is it is simple. It becomes habit forming. It becomes a lifestyle. It's proven, it works, it's been proven for over 20 years, and we're utilizing natural ingredients and we're forever bettering that. And that is the beauty behind this, is there's so many people out there right now that are begging, that are praying, that are looking for these solutions in their lives. And it's nice, it's refreshing to know that they're at our fingertips.
Yeah, yeah. And guys, if you do not follow Dr. Plant on Instagram, please do. I saw Lori write in the chat earlier something about his reels. I can't tell you how many of them that I share Dr. Plant, and he hits tough topics, you guys. He talks about weight loss shots. He talks about the things that you come up against talking to clients, and he addresses them, and they're short, they're concise, and they're very educational, and they're at your fingertips to be able to repost and share. I hope you're going to continue doing that, Dr. Plant.
Yeah, it doesn't take too much effort, and it appears like a lot of people like them. So I try to do like 4 or 5 a week. So yeah, feel free to use them as much as you guys want. And it's always nice that occasionally I'll get in trouble with the legal team as well. So it's good knowing we're all in this together.
A couple of last minute questions that just showed up in the chat. What is your workout? Like, what do you take as your pre-workout, post-workout? Do you use all the Amped products as well? We didn't really talk about that.
Yeah, so I use the pre-workout, and I'll use the Nox occasionally. But I don't use the Nox too much, honestly. I'll use the pre-workout, and I use the Tri-Release after my workout.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And then the plant-based line, are you continuing to grow that line since it's going so well?
Yes, I have a name to live up to, both literally and based upon the sales of that. So yes, I'll live up to my name and keep pushing those plant products out.
That's great. And then any new research studies that you're working on right now?
Yes, so I have to be careful not spill the beans because we can't share them before they're published, but the biggest research that we have been doing is going to hopefully get published here in the next 3 months. And this one is by far the biggest study. And so not too many people are aware of this, but there's what are called like tiers of journals. You have your top tier journals, Nature, Science, those are the ones that get talked about in Good Morning America, where it says big study comes out. And so we actually just submitted this to Nature, which is your top science journal in the world. And so we're hoping, fingers crossed, we'll see if it gets accepted. And so it's very, very groundbreaking and exciting. And so we'll be looking at that hopefully in the next few months. And so we're really excited about it. I wish I could talk about the details, but we're not allowed to talk about it. If it comes out before it's published, the journal will not accept it. So
no worries. Thank you. That's exciting. All right. Last question. What podcasts besides Isagenix do you listen to for inspiration and information?
You know what? Maybe I'm old. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't even listen to our podcasts, even the ones that I'm on, right? So I just read. I find I can read a lot faster than I can listen. So I typically read. I try to read about 2 or 3 books a week. And so I just do a lot of reading. I love reading textbooks mainly, ironically. Yeah, so I'm kind of boring that way. People talk about podcasts. My car is quiet when I drive to work. I don't even listen to music. So quiet while I'm on the road. And then when I'm home, it's usually I just open a book. I can't even do the ones on the phone, right? Like where the iPad, I like to turn the pages. So, I'm about 80 years in the wrong generation.
Oh, that's okay. There's a lot of us like that. So thank you so much. We can't thank you enough for giving of your time. I know how valuable it is, and that you spent 30 minutes with us this evening is another gift that we're so grateful for. So you guys, please blow up the chat and thank Dr. Plant for being with us. Any last words you'd like to say?
No, thank you for having me. It's always an honor and a pleasure. Excited. I'm getting ready to hear in about a week or two to head to Australia. They're sending me on a 2-week tour there. The country's going gangbusters there. Great growth throughout Europe. And so Isagenix has had a great run so far this year. Great momentum, and we're looking to keep it going. So thanks for everything you guys are doing.
Oh, thank you. We can't thank you enough. Thank you guys for showing up tonight for Dr. Plant, and have a great night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Dr. Plant. Bye-bye.